Free National Movement kicking off its campaign machinery on Grand Bahama. More vaccines rolled out over the weekend. And tourism inducting 2 new fly-in ambassadors. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Megan Shepard. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news, the Free National Movement kicking off its election campaign here on Grand Bahama over the weekend. The drive-in rally taking place just hours after the party's candidates filed nominations for the September 16th elections. FNM leader Dr. Hubert Minnis heading a list of speakers. He says the party's 5 candidates will make a clean sweep to victory. Jamila Mizik reports.
The Free National Movement officially kicking off the election season with a mass rally on Grand Bahama drive-through style to abide by COVID safety protocols. The nation's leader, Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, on island for the event, joined by the 5 candidates for each of the constituencies in Grand Bahama. The Prime Minister outlining his administration's plans for the island if elected for a second term. These plans include investments for Grand Bahama and a Home Porting Act.
Carnival and Royal Caribbean have agreed to a new combined investment of approximately $350 million in the Grand Bahama shipyard. You might recall that the original investment and other investments to date in the shipyard have totaled approximately $250 million. The new investment will match this and exceed it by $100 million. The proposed infrastructure works will replace the 2 damaged docks with larger ones. This will mean a notable increase in employment and economic activity on Grand Bahama. The expansion of the Grand Bahama shipyard will begin as early. Listen to me now. Listen to me. The expansion, that is work for you, will begin as early as October of this year. The government continues to work with Carnival on the permitting process for the Carnival Cruise Port project. We expect to break ground shortly.
Dr. Minnis also sharing plans for healthcare reform on the island, noting that the government is working on the design for Phase 2 of the Ram Memorial Hospital, a 4-story expansion, as well as plans for the Grand Bahama International Airport.
Doctors Hospital has announced its new hospital project here in Grand Bahama. And work on this new private hospital will begin this year and is being done in partnership with Cleveland Clinic. Grand Bahama, in our next term, you are going to get a brand new world-class international airport. The government has approved the new Discovery Bay project in Grand Bahama, and the Vela Group intends to develop a mixed-use resort consisting of a 25-key boutique hotel and restaurant, 30 residential estate lots, 12 townhouses, 12 bungalows, a beachfront rental pavilion, a 30-slip marina to be situated in the existing canal system, and a back-of-house facility. At the end of all its phase, this development will exceed $100 million.
The Prime Minister encouraging residents to support the 5 candidates in Grand Bahama so that they would be able to finish the work that was started.
Our party has led the Bahamas in this term through its worst times. Hurricane Dorian hit in September 2019 as the worst storm ever in the history of the Bahamas. And 6 months later, we were in the pandemic. But despite the challenges, the FNM has kept fighting for Bahamians. We are fighting for your future. We have worked hard to rebuild what was damaged. We have worked hard to save lives. We have worked hard to save and restore our economy. Our party exists to advance the interests of all Bahamians.
Jamila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
Now, early voting for the upcoming general election will be held next Thursday, September 9th. All eligible registered voters 65 years or older, overseas voters, and other voters in the specified categories may apply to vote in the advance poll. Voting centers will be established for each constituency. Voting in the early poll for the Marcos City constituency will be held at the Jack Hayward Gym, Pine Ridge, and the Jack Hayward Junior School. Advance poll voting for Central and East Grand Bahama will be held at St. George's High, and West Grand Bahama will be held at the 8 Mile Rock High School Gym. Advance poll voting will take place 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on September 9th. Application forms for early voting must be submitted by September 4th. Eligible overseas voters must complete and submit the application Form J to their nearest Bahamas consular or High Commission officer for onward submission to the parliamentary registrations head offices in New Providence on or before August 27th. The Form J is available at Bahamas Consular, High Commission Office, or the Parliamentary Registration Department, Freeport, or Administrator's Office, 8 Mile Rock. Scores of Grand Bahamians turning up at the Foster B. Pastina Center over the weekend to take their shot of the PFIZER or Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Organizers say day one of the rollout was a complete success, and they're hopeful that it will continue as more persons make appointments to take the jab. Rumiko Knowles has more.
The line was long and the sun was scorching, but it was not deterring these Bahamians from taking the jab. Some stood with umbrellas and others just waited in line until they got inside. Member of the National COVID-19 Consultative Committee, Dr. Danny Davis, says it's a good sign.
It's going well. Excellent turnout from the Grand Bahamians. We're really pleased about that. We do have a lot more persons than we anticipated, but the good thing is we do have the nursing staff in place to work our way through this line, and we have sufficient vaccines. So once again, we appeal to the public. If you have an appointment, come in at your appointment time, and we will process you through the day.
Davis says they are elated at the overwhelming response from residents and Grand Bahamians.
We love it. We love it. This says that Grand Bahamians are now saying to themselves, we want to get vaccinated. So we're here today to make that happen. And like I said earlier, even though we have a bit of a line, we're convinced that we have sufficient inventory of vaccines on site today, and we have sufficient nurses to work our way through this, so we're going to do it.
He adds that their objective is to put a dent in the pandemic by putting shots in arms, and they will do what is necessary to accommodate the load.
And we have nursing staff out of Nassau, we have nursing staff from the Ram Memorial Hospital, and we also have some private nurses as well who are participating today to help us meet the demand that's present. We're always appealing. If you got a medical background, if you don't have a medical background, there's a role for you at a vaccination center that will help us put an end to this pandemic. So we ask you, regardless of your skill set or whether you think it's suited or not, please get yourself signed up, come up. We have many roles to fill, not all of them are medical.
And for those who are not sure as to whether to take the vaccine, Davis says to look around.
So look at the line outside in front right now and recognize that your neighbors, your friends, they're making the decision to come and get vaccinated. And I'm just going to simply appeal to them to look at what's available out there and make that decision as well. It's a personal decision, but of course you can appreciate from my position, the appeal is to come and get vaccinated and help us put an end to this pandemic.
And with the FDA's approval of the PFIZER vaccine, he believes it should build confidence among those who still have reservations about the vaccine. Rumiko Knowles, ZNS Network News.
Now, the rollout of the Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson vaccines will continue at St. Mary Magdalene Anglican Church in West End tomorrow, August 31st, from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, and at the YMTA building in Hunters tomorrow from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Then on Wednesday, September 1st, from 9 a.m. to 12 noon for the Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson vaccines only. Persons wishing to receive the vaccines are asked to visit vax.gov.bs to make an appointment. Those experiencing challenges with registration are asked to call 727-8036 or 727-8038 from 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. Persons are asked to report to the vaccination centers 15 minutes before their appointment time and take along their National Insurance Smart Card. Walk-ins are welcomed. A record high 27 COVID-19 deaths being reported in the Ministry of Health's latest release. All are from Grand Bahama, and they took place over a 5-month period from April 16th through August 24th, taking the nationwide death toll to 381. 108 new cases of the virus also being reported, 80 in New Providence, 10 in Grand Bahama, 4 in Eleuthera, 3 each in Andros and Cat Island, 2 apiece in Acklins and Crooked Island, while Abaco, Exuma, Long Island, and San Salvador all have 1 new case for a total of 18,139. One of the New Providence cases, along with the case from Exuma, have a travel history in the past 14 days. Hospitalizations sit at 169. 28 are in Grand Bahama, with 4 people in the intensive care unit. 2,980 cases remain active. There have been 11 new recoveries, bringing that total to 14,665. In other news, 21 migrants handed over to immigration officers on Grand Bahama on Saturday. U.S. Coast Guard cutter Bernard Weber transporting 14 adult males, including 2 minors and 7 females, to the Freeport harbor. Reports say they were interdicted on Tuesday evening, 1 nautical mile east of Juno Beach, Florida, on board a Bahamian registered vessel that was piloted by 2 Bahamians suspected of being smugglers. They were detained by U.S. officials for further investigation related to human smuggling. The migrants, meantime, were taken to the Immigration Department for processing. Charges are expected to be filed before the court this week. And more illegal migrants found on Grand Bahama. Reports say that around noon on Friday, immigration and police officers armed with a search warrant proceeded to an apartment complex off Midshipman Road, where they found 15 adult Haitian males and a male minor, along with 13 adult females and a female minor. They were not able to produce proof of legal status in the country and were taken into custody. They were subsequently charged before Magistrate Simone Brown with illegal landing and overstaying. They all pled guilty and were ordered deported to Haiti. The group has since been flown to the capital to be housed at the Carmichael Road Detention Center until repatriated to their homeland. Additionally, 2 Cuban males were arraigned in court number 4 to answer charges brought against them by the Immigration Department for illegal landing. The pair also pled guilty and were convicted and ordered deported to their country of origin. They have since been flown to the capital to await repatriation to Cuba. And meantime, the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism inducting the newest fly-in ambassadors for the country. The program aims to induct private pilots who will help to promote the islands of the Bahamas as a place to visit and explore. The Ministry of Tourism's Fly-In Ambassadors program is an extension of the ministry's sales and marketing team to help promote the islands of the Bahamas as a destination for private pilots to visit and enjoy. Senior Director of Vertical Markets Greg Roll says that this new partnership with this husband and wife team is significant.
They go out there and they convince other private pilots how to fly the aircraft to the islands of the Bahamas. One thing with private pilots the ambassador has in place, they has a great area of influence in the area of their marketplace. And today we have Valerie Tablet and husband Eric, and they will be our newest flying ambassadors. It's a husband and wife team, And when you team up, it's always a good plus. I just want to say a special thank you to Valerie and also to Eric. And what is so significant about this combination, Valerie, some 2 years ago, she teamed up with Steve-O, and they put together a flying video. And that video netted some close to 3 million views on YouTube.
General Manager for the Grand Bahama Ministry of Tourism Office, Stephen Johnson, officially inducting Captain Valerie Talbot and Captain Eric Larson as flying ambassadors.
This is millions of dollars to the economy of Grand Bahama and to the Bahamas in general. And so we are really, really grateful, Greg, to you and your team. We know the Deputy Director General, Ellison Tommy Thompson, has been instrumental in letting you flex throughout the world to promote. And I know our Director General and our Minister, everybody's happy. And so I'd like to present you, both of you, with your credentials. And I guess I gotta call you Captain, eh?
Now, Captain Valerie will be the second female pilot to be inducted as an ambassador and says she is honored to be a part of the team. Captain Eric adding that they have visited the island on several occasions and he is excited to promote the destination in an official capacity.
It is an absolute honor to be a flying ambassador, especially as a woman. And my goal is always to influence new pilots and women pilot and fly over the Bahamas. It is a very, very simple flight, especially from Florida. I mean, the wait that we had to do for the weather was a lot longer than the flight itself. It was about 20-30 minutes that it took us, and it was magnificent.
Freeport is a mainstay for us. We've been here boating and fishing and flying, and it's an honor to get this award and become a part of the team for once, helping and supporting as we've always done and we'll do in the future, and grab as many people as we can to help the islands and enjoy what the islands have to offer, which is unlimited.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News. Stay with us, there's more news right after this break.